Welcome to Chappy's Tiki Bar. It's a game day episode, part 2. So we're going to make a skinny chi-chi from Tiki's Bar and Grill in Waikiki Beach. You'll get best tropical destination stories, for real this time. You'll get my reaction to the Mookie Betts trade. And then we're going to go watch the game at Buffalo Wild Wings and have some chicken wings. And then I'll make you a turkey Hawaiian slider. Also, we're going to learn about Falernum, all on this episode of Chappy's Tiki Bar. So pour yourself a nice tropical drink. I've saved you a seat. Okay, welcome to Game Day episode part 2. On Game Day episode part 1, I had revealed that I made a wager on the Super Bowl, and I was going to disclose whether or not I won that wager on this episode. So I had bet on the over-under. That's the total combined score for the Super Bowl for both teams. The over-under was 54.5, and this final score was San Francisco 20, Kansas City 31, which was a total combined score of 51. Therefore, my bet that was under 54.5 was a winner. I had won $300. Now, the real money would have been betting the over-under for crotch shots on the Shakira J-Lo halftime show. So anyways, I'm going to start off by making a skinny chi-chi. These two tiki mugs here I got at Tiki's Bar and Grill right on Waikiki Beach. And this is where I'm getting the skinny chi-chi recipe from. So I'll show you a short clip of Tiki's Grill on Waikiki in a second. I'm just going to mix up a skinny chi-chi. So I have a martini shaker and put a little ice. So we got some pineapple juice. And you're supposed to use fresh limes. I just have the bar lime. You'll see later why in this episode how I used up all my freaking limes. But in goes some lime. And now I have some coconut water. So I think the coconut part makes it a chi-chi. Now, a real chi-chi is just a pina colada with vodka, where a real pina colada has rum. Now, in Tiki's Grill, they use coconut flavor vodka. I don't have any coconut flavor vodka, so I'm just going to use real vodka. Now, I do have coconut flavor rum, so I'll add a little bit of Malibu to get that coconut flavor, in addition to the coconut water. All right, so we'll give this a shake. Now, one of these got cracked on the way over. Thank you, WestJet. I think I'll use the good one. So that's another good Tiki Bar tip. If you're buying collector item Tiki mugs, make sure you pack some bubble wrap. All right, so that is my skinny martini, and I'm just going to garnish it with fresh pineapple. So next up, best tropical destination story. So the bar is actually located on the second floor of the Aston Waikiki Beach Hotel. I cut through the pool area, and that's the entranceway to Tiki's Bar and Grill. Now, the food there was just so-so. Super small portions, and you'd pay the price that you'd think you'd pay on a bar overlooking Waikiki Beach. But there's my skinny chi-chi that I had. I mostly just went for the collector tiki mugs to add to my Tiki Bar collection. But they did have some really good drink specials, and I did enjoy that skinny chi-chi. Again, that's just overlooking Waikiki Beach And there are my collector Tiki mugs that I got at that bar. Okay, so I made my skinny martini. I'm using my Tiki mug that I got at Tiki's, a grill and bar in beautiful Waikiki Beach, Hawaii. Give it a try. Oh yeah, it's delicious and calorie conscious. So anywho, I call this next segment Best Tropical Destination Stories. Now, in part 1, I tried something a little different. See what happened here. Send your best tropical destination stories to Chappy Tiki Bar at yahoo.com.
Rosie swung to the fence.
Okay, so you can see that didn't really fare well for me. So I'll try something else this episode. I'm just going to give you one of my best tropical destination stories. So if you don't know me, I worked on the cruise ships for 8 years. So I have a ton of tropical destination stories. I don't know if this is my best one, but it's pretty darn good. So we were in Key West that day. Now, generally, we depart Key West at around 3 in the afternoon. But on this particular occasion, there was a medical emergency, so we had to go back. And then they decided to dock for the night. Now, most departments, like the gift shop and casino, they can only be open in international waters. So if we're docked, that means you got the night off. So we had the night off in Key West. The main street is Duval Street, and it's mostly just bars and restaurants. Needless to say, we got carried away. So we went to a bar called Sloppy Joe's. It's affiliated with Captain Tony's, which is from the Jimmy Buffett song, Went Down to da-da-da-da. Anyhow, so we're in Sloppy Joe's, and I also believe that's where they invented the Sloppy Joe or Mamwich. So anyways, we were in Sloppy Joe's, and there was a live band playing. Now this would have been mid-90s. So back then, when you had the live bands, the kids liked to mosh and bump into each other. I was with my cabinmate Lee and a few other guys, and they were all from England, so they liked to mosh. So we were on the dance floor, and they were kind of just like bumping into people like jerks. And the management didn't care for that much. So the bouncer had come over, but for some reason I was with a lot of really big guys, and for some reason the bouncer didn't want to confront the bigger guys. He just came over and kept on talking to me, and he just said, well, you guys got to knock it off or you're out of here. And I wasn't one to say, hey guys, let's knock it off. So I chose to say nothing, and the bouncer came over 3 or 4 times and told me to tell those guys to cut it out, which I decided not to. And finally, like the 4th or 5th time, the bouncer comes over to me again, didn't say anything to these huge guys I'm with, and he says, okay, time to leave. And at that point, I was so drunk, I thought it was closing time. And the reason why he was telling me it was time to leave, it wasn't because I was being kicked out. It was because it was last call. So I said, okay. And then I decided, well, I better head off to the bathroom before I leave and maybe hit the bar to see if I can get last call. So I go to the bathroom, and unbeknownst to the 3 other gentlemen I was with, the bouncer just started pushing them towards the door. They didn't really know what was going on because the bouncer never really said anything to them. And there was I guess a brawl ensued. Now I was going to the bathroom at the time, so I did not partake in the brawl. And then so all the bouncers got my party outside, and there was a paddy wagon waiting for them. There was my cabin mate Lee, a bartender from the ship, and a photographer. Apparently, the bartender who was in handcuffs got a little mouthy with the police officer, and the police officer picked him up and threw him into the paddy wagon backwards. He had fallen on his arm and broke his arm. So anyways, I come out, and strangely enough, the bar is not closed, and there was some girls that I worked with, so I went and had a drink with the girls I work with at the bar. Somebody had mentioned to me that they may have saw Lee being taken away in handcuffs, and didn't think much of it at the time. Went home, had a good night's sleep. My cabin mate didn't come home that night, so I got up the next morning. We didn't leave till later on that day. So I called the police station and asked, I gave him my cabin mate's name and asked if he had been incarcerated, and the guy at the dispatch said, well, wait a second, and he goes, oh, that guy, the jerk. So I knew he'd been incarcerated along with my two other friends. So the bartender who got his arm broken, he had to get his mom to wire money from England for bail. They got out of the jail just in time to catch the ship. And the funny part of the story was the bartender who got his arm broken had stolen a prison uniform, a bright orange jumper with Monroe County Jail printed on the back. And the next evening, like, we were at sea, and he came down to the crew bar to lick his wounds. So he was having a drink at the crew bar, wearing his prison jumper and an arm in a sling. So that is one of my best tropical destination stories. So again, send your best tropical destination stories to chappiness@yahoo.com. Hey Chappy, did you hear Mookie Betts got traded to the Dodgers? Alright, so we're going to head into Buffalo Wild Wings and watch the game and have some chicken wings. Leave in the comment section below if you think I should change Mookie's name to Steve. So we're just going to head on into Buffalo Wild Wings. Oh! Why does this keep on happening? Alright, so there's sausage from mildest to hot are sweet barbecue, honey garlic, teriyaki, mild, Parmesan garlic, honey barbecue, medium, spicy garlic, Asian zing, kickin' honey garlic, Caribbean jerk, hot barbecue, jam and jalapeno, and then the two new flavors are Nashville hot, original buffalo, which is new, I don't know how it's original, and then it's hot, mango habanero, wild, and blazing. So I'm going to get my favorite, the mango habanero. So it's number 3 on the hotness, so it's going to be up there on the Scoville units. So get that order in and give her a try. Buffalo Wild Wings started in 1982 in Columbus, Ohio. It franchised in 1992. Those are my Mango Habanero, my favorite Buffalo Wild Wings wing. A close second is the Caribbean Jerk. Make sure you check out episode number 3 where I use the Caribbean Jerk from Buffalo Wild Wings to make my jerk chicken. Oh, hello. I was just boning up on my Polynesian pop and Tiki culture. Now that I have the YouTube channel and the Tiki bar, I'm going to try to become an expert in all things Tiki culture. So I was just reading up. I got this book, Smuggler's Cove, I was reading up on Falernum. So Falernum, it says, is a critical ingredient in your tiki arsenal. Falernum has become an exotic cocktail recipe staple since the earliest Don the Beachcomber days. Falernum originated in Barbados and is a rum, sugar, and lime-based liqueur with a variety of spices including, but not limited to, cloves, almonds, ginger, and nutmeg. As it was traditionally homemade, family recipes vary widely. At Smuggler's Cove, we use John Taylor's Velvet Falernum. It has been made in Barbados for decades by a Barbadian-owned company, which also means the money goes back into the Caribbean. But homemade Falernum are very popular, and there are many recipes available online to try. However, do note if your particular Falernum is overwhelmingly clovey or gingery, then it may quickly overpower many recipes. So I actually have a recipe book. This is called Liquid Vacation, and it's the author is the owner of Frankie's Tiki Room in Las Vegas. It's one of my all-time favorite tiki bars. It's one of the world's only 24-hour tiki bar, and this is loaded with recipes, and it has a Falernum recipe. So I'm going to take a look at the Falernum recipe in Liquid Vacation from Frankie's Tiki Bar in Las Vegas. So I located the Falernum recipe in Liquid Vacation. It's a doozy. It looks like it's going to be a 2-day process. So we'll give it a try. I'll just go through it first. So the recipe for Falernum is 1/4 cup of whole unsalted almonds shelled, pea-size whole nutmeg, 12 limes, a ½ pound of fresh ginger, 16 ounces of Ray and Nephew white overproof rum, 20 whole cloves, 2 whole allspice berries, a ½ teaspoon of almond extract, 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, 3/4 cup of bottled water or purified water. So then this is where the 2-day process begins. So it says, place the almonds in a dry skillet on top of the stove and toast for 5 minutes or until they begin to brown. Let cool, then crack them with the bottom of a cold pan or the side of a chef's knife. Using the same method, crack the nutmeg into smaller pieces. Use a microplane grater to zest the limes and set aside. Then squeeze the juice, straining off the pulp. Set aside 4½ ounces of lime juice in a tightly covered container and refrigerate until the next day. Rinse the ginger and cut into matchstick-sized pieces until you have 1/3 of a cup. Peeled or not is fine as long as the ginger is clean. In a covered glass container, like a 1-liter pitcher or a carafe with a large opening, combine the rum, lime zest, toasted almonds, cloves, nutmeg, allspice berries, and ginger. Cover and allow to macerate at room temperature for 24 hours. After 24 hours, pour the macerated liquid into a large mixing cup through a fine mesh strainer. Wearing powder-free examine gloves, otherwise your fingernails will turn green from the hand squeeze, or will turn green. Hand squeeze as much extra liquid as you can from the solids through the strainer. Discard the solids and then add almond extract and reserve lime juice. Separately combine sugar and water. Stir until the sugar is completely dissolved. Then add the macerated liquid. Stir well, then funnel into a bottle. Cover tightly and refrigerate for up to 2 weeks. So I am going to go through this entire process with you. Now there's a number, in addition to the Falernum recipe, there's a number of drink recipes that require the Falernum. in the Liquid Vacations. I'm just going to go back to Smuggler's Cove and read off all the drinks that they have that has Falernum in it. So I got Captain's Grog, Chartreuse Swizzle, Corn and Oil, a Hondu Hattie Jungle Punch, a Jet Pilot, a Wan Ho Royale, Cathier Swizzle, a Merciless Virgin, a Port-au-Prince, a Puka Punch, Saturn, Sex Part, it's called The Sex Part, 3 Dots and a Dash, the Undead Gentleman, and the Zombie. All use Falernum in the Smuggler's Cove Exotic Cocktails, Rum, and the Cult of Tiki book. So back to Liquid Vacation. I'm gonna go through all the steps in making the Falernum, and then I'm gonna pick a drink out. This looks pretty good. A Crazy Al's High Roller. I actually had that last time I was in Las Vegas and was at Frankie's Tiki Room. So stay tuned and we'll go through the entire steps of making Falernum. Well, I bet you thought I wouldn't do it, but I'm doing it. I'm making Falernum. Because I have more determination than any man you're ever likely to meet. That's from the movie Big Fish. Thank you. All right, so here it goes. We're making Falernum out of Liquid Vacation from Frankie's Tiki Room in Las Vegas, Nevada. So the first thing on the recipe calls for unsalted almonds shelled. So I've already roasted them off. Pea-size nutmeg. 1.5 pounds of fresh ginger. 16 ounces of Ray and Nephew white overproof rum. I have that exact brand. It says 63% alcohol, so it's a doozy. Next up, we have 20 whole cloves. So I got my cloves. I'm going to have to count off 20 of these suckers. That's what they look like. They smell nice. All right. And have 2 whole allspice berries. Here's my allspice berries. They look like little peppercorns. Quarter teaspoon of almond extract. Got my almond extract. 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. Have that. And again, I'm using Rogers sugar, most likely made at the Sugar Factory in Tabor, Alberta. And 1/3 cup of purified water. Okay, so it says place the almonds in a dry skillet on top of the stove and toast for 5 minutes. I did that with the almonds. So let cool, then crack them with the bottom of a cold pan or the side of a chef knife. Using the same method, crack the nutmeg into smaller pieces. So I actually got a mallet here somewhere. So I'm just going to whack that up. All right. Next up, it says using a microplane grater, zest the limes and set the zest aside. Then squeeze the juice, straining off the pulp. Set aside 4.5 ounces of lime juice, and then tightly cover the container and refrigerate until the next day. So I got the lime juice. I strained the pulp from the lime juice. And here is the zest of 12 limes. That was no small task. And then it says, rinse the ginger and cut into matchstick size pieces until you have 1/3 cup. And then I cut them into matchsticks there. No, that was a lot of work. All right, so in a covered glass container, like a 1-liter pitcher or carafe with a large opening, combine the rum, lime zest, toasted almonds, cloves, nutmeg, allspice, and ginger. Cover and allow to macerate at room temperature for 24 hours. I have to macerate for 24 hours? So insert your maceration jokes in the comments below. So after that, after 24 hours of, I'm going to pour the macerated liquid into a large mixing cup. So I'll stop there. I'm going to combine all the ingredients and let it macerate for 24 hours. So I'll be back in 24 hours. All right. So I got my macerated liquid, which is rum, lime zest, toasted almonds, cloves, nutmeg, allspice berries, and ginger. I thought it'd be like bright green, but it looks kind of gross. So I got a sieve and a cheesecloth, and we're just gonna separate the solids. So again, that's macerated at room temperature for 24 hours. Oh, it is kind of green. It just kind of looks like sludge or swamp water. Ooh, it's got a pungent scent. All right, I'm just gonna, instead of wearing gloves like it says, I'm just gonna try to push all the liquid through. All right, now I have some magic powder baking soda. Ooh. Whew. That's not part of the recipe, I just need a little pick-me-up. All right. Whew. So that is separated. I'm going to add the lime juice. And have the almond extract. And then I have the water and sugar combined. I said to stir it till it's dissolved. I heated it up a little bit just to help it out. All right. Now I have a bottle and a funnel. So I'm just gonna put the liquid in through the funnel. Seems to be working smoothly. And the bottle is sealable. And that's my Falernum. All right, So I've completed the 2-day process of making my Falernum. Now I'm going to make a Crazy Al's High Roller. That's from Frankie's Tiki Room in Las Vegas, Nevada. I got the recipe from the book Liquid Vacation. The author is P. Moss, and he's the owner of Frankie's Tiki Room in Las Vegas, Nevada. So first up, it says here, Crazy Al's High Roller. This drink was created for Frankie's first anniversary, and the Crazy Al designed limited edition tiki mug commemorating the occasion. It's a refreshing buzz with just enough kick to make you want to press your bets. I have a tiki mug from Frankie's Tiki Room. However, it's not the commemorative mug. This guy's called the Lychee Lech, I believe. No, he's called the Lava Lech. Either way, he's a lech. Alright, so we're going to start off with some ice. Alright, first up, we have some Pirate rum. So 1 ounce of Pirate XO rum. This is the good stuff. This is premium rum. Comes with a cork. I suppose that's how the pirates used to like to drink it back in their rum drinking days. Next up, we have a 1/2 ounce of cherry heering. This is heering. It says the original cherry liqueur, 1818. If you can't find the cherry heering liqueur, I've used cherry brandy before, and it works just fine. So that's just 1/2 ounce. Next up, we got a 3/4 ounce of Tanqueray gin. In the words of Amy Winehouse, you sniffed me out just like Tanqueray. Next, we have 3 ounces of guava nectar. In the recipe book, Liquid Vacation, they use a lot of Hawaiian Sun products like Hawaiian Sun guava nectar. It's made in Hawaii, so it's hard to find in Canada, so I just got the regular guava nectar. So that was 3 ounces. Next up, 1 ounce of papaya nectar. And 1 ounce of sweet and sour. Now they have a recipe for sweet and sour using fresh limes. This is just bar lime because I used up all my freaking 12 limes on my Falernum. So it's just basically a lemon lime. They call it a sweet and sour. And next, my Falernum. It's a 1/2 ounce. It's a lot of work for a 1/2 ounce. Next up, it says a dash of Angostura bitters. So I actually have Angostura bitters. So just a dash. And it says a splash of club soda. Has a little bit more than a splash. And then I'm going to garnish with maraschino cherry. And I have a lime wheel. Maybe I'll give it a little stir. And that's my Crazy Al's High Roller from Frankie's Tiki Room in Las Vegas. Well, there'll be more about Frankie's Tiki Room in Las Vegas when I go to Las Vegas. And we'll have lots more drinks from his recipe book. Oh, that's excellent. Alright, so I got the perfect game day treat. I found some Hawaiian Buns. I got them at Co-op. That's no easy task to find Hawaiian Buns in Canada. So we're going to do Hawaiian sliders. So sliders are great for having the guys over. You just put them out on the table and eat them like hors d'oeuvres. So I have some ground turkey, and then for normal burgers I always add a little packet of ranch dressing, just the dry powder. Now also for normal burgers, what I do is I soak some bread in milk, but what I did is I got a little bit of the Hawaiian bun and I soaked it in pineapple juice. Now pineapple juice has an enzyme in it that breaks the meat down and works as a meat tenderizer. So I'm just going to add the Hawaiian buns that we're soaking in the pineapple juice, and then I have a little bit of teriyaki marinade. This is the really thin marinade, so it's not like the thick sauce. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that to the meat to flavor it through. And then we got some minced garlic, dry minced garlic. And then to add that more of that Asian flavor, I have some fresh garlic that I froze, and I got a microplane. Just going to give a little hit of the garlic, or sorry, the ginger. And then we're going to mix it all up into little balls and fry up my burgers. Alright, so the burgers are coming along. And I'm going to add some grilled pineapple. Nothing better than grilled pineapple. Going to add a little bit of the teriyaki to the grilled pineapple. Okay, so my burger's done. I got the Hawaiian buns. The Hawaiian buns are really sweet. They actually make them with pineapple juice. I'll put the burger on. You see it's still juicy. And then I got some hoisin sauce, like a Chinese barbecue sauce. I don't know, we'll hit it with some pineapple. Okay, we'll give her a try. Alright, so I have my Hawaiian slider. We'll give it a try. Now, that enzyme that make from pineapples that make meat tenderize is bromine for 200, Alex. Oh, that's nice. The meat didn't get too dry. I put mayonnaise on the burger. I usually don't put mayonnaise on burgers, but turkey can get a little dry. The grilled pineapple is nice. So you can see it's a nice thick burger. And I managed not to dry it out. So that worked out well. Alright, so thanks for watching Game Day episode part 2. If you haven't subscribed yet, why the heck not? Right, Mookie? So, if you think I should change Mookie's name to Steve Garvey, leave a comment in the comment section below. And stay tuned for next week. I'm going to... Don't listen, Mookie. I'm going to prank Mookie. So that'll be a good one. So we'll see you next week on Chappy's Tiki Bar. Yes, we will, Mookie. Excuse me, I'm going to make out with my dog now. Give me a kiss, Mookie.